Greetings, my fellow dwarves. Rodamon here. Thank you for tuning in to Dwarf Fortress Taming the Wilds, episode 31, Room to Grow. One of the first things I want to do is to dig out additional bedrooms. So the question I had is, how close are... Oh, boy. Okay, so we're basically abut the edge of the map. So I could do another half row of bedrooms here to continue the pattern, but it actually works out perfectly. It has the perfect amount of whatever axis that is to be able to do it. But then we're going to have a new corridor. So another set of bedrooms, because every single bedroom right now, I believe, is completely full. If I go to the zones here, yeah, every bedroom is full. So we'll start another bedroom corridor down here. So the intention was, and we do have like these storage rooms up here and storage rooms down here. So the intention was maybe to let me avoid the trade rooms. So the trade rooms come down. Oh, I see. That's gonna be a bit of a problem. All right, I'll just dig like this. It's fine. I don't know why I have them in sets of 8 and not 10. I think 10 would have been a lot easier on my brain to, like, number them. But it's, that's something to fix for, like, future me, not current me. So, future me will never do that again. But in this series, I'll just stick with it. So you can kind of see the pattern. It's like Simant or something. Where we'll dig down here and also set up additional bedrooms as well. So the other thing I might want to do is to trigger the beds and coffers and cabinets up to a much higher number, or even just like repeat forever. The other thing that we might run into is a lack of shale or slate, whatever we've been building on. So that's another concern. It's weird to have to seek out a non-economic rock. A lot of people that play Dwarf Fortress don't pay much attention to aesthetics, meaning that like they just smooth out, and when they want things like statues or whatever, they just make it out of any material, that nothing is color coordinated at all. That's a more efficient way of playing for sure. It's just not the way I've been going about this, so we'll see. So it looks like we have, here, let me zoom out. Hello, autosave menu. I guess if you zoom out in the middle of an autosave, it bugs out the overlay of the autosave. So I'm pretty sure it's saving right now and not crashing, but I can't be sure because there's no text shown. And Torvasker, thank you for the resub, and Kadath for gifting out a sub. Please be an actual save. Maybe. It's a good coffee break. Press enter. Oh, thank you. The magic enter key. How many hours am I in? I don't actually know how many hours I'm in this specific colony. I don't know. So what are my stocks for non-economic stone? Well, we are digging into shale here, so it should be fine. I should be getting a lot of shale just from the excavation, allowing us to make shale cabinets and shale coffers as a result. And then my rock carvers and engravers are going to have a heck of a lot of work carving up and smoothing and everything. We're also going to need shale doors. So let me get ahead of myself here. And beds make... Oh no, those are shops. Hold on. Shale door will make 15. Beds will make 15. And I might need more pine. So I have to check how many trees we've felled and not piss off the elves. Unless we want to piss off the elves. But I'm not ready to do that quite yet because I really haven't ramped up the military. So that was the coffers. Where are the cabinets? Coffin. Cabinet. Here. Okay, so we'll make a lot more furniture, so we'll be able to furnish these bedrooms more easily. Maybe use a different stone? Oh, well, the only issue that I have with that is the only other stone I have in abundance would be dolomite, but dolomite is a flux stone, so it doesn't really make sense to... I could do it in jet, but I'd probably run out of jet. And then dolomite is a flux stone, so it doesn't really make economic sense to use a economic stone non-economically. Because we'll turn that dolomite into steel, which is probably more useful than furniture. Most dwarves would agree to that statement, I think. So the other thing I probably want to do is let's go to the settings here. Now I do want to raise the population rapidly, but like not so rapid that we go from 78 to 200. So I'll raise it up a little bit every season, so it's a not crippling amount of immigration all at once. Because I don't think my brain could handle that, if I'm being honest. So we'll get it out smooth first, and that gives our stonecutters time to make the extra furniture. And then let's also check the stocks for pine. So that would be logs. And I am out of pine. Okay, fine. I can handle that. We're at open war with the goblins as well. That's something I want to mess with, obviously. All right, Elvin, 29 more trees. Cool. I'm trying not to violate the agreements. Not so much that I care for the trees, but it's more that I don't want to go back on my word. Right? Word is your bond. And my dwarves aren't liars. That brings me another point, which is we have some crime happening. And we might want to see about tamping down on crime. I suppose I could poll whether you guys think it's worth my time to try to thief-proof my artifacts, or if the crime and thief mechanics are fine and fun. But either way, leaving it up to you seems pretty reasonable. So just as a little reminder, if we go to Justice here, Firecrest and Fainted Recluse got stolen. We actually watched Fainted Recluse get stolen, like, out from under our nose. A human peddler came in, a dwarf handed it to them. The dwarf was apprehended, but not before the human peddler made it off the map. So, I don't know. There is crime. My argument, of course, is the mechanics of crime are actually kind of fun. Oh, there's one other thing that I wanted to do is move this crate. Because it's probably in the way of wagons. I vaguely remember wagons making through here, but like, that's probably a false memory of mine. Is it possible to ally the elves to ally that? No, I don't think alliances work that way. But again, I don't know too much about the like grand diplomacy of the game. Mostly, I think what you get for befriending other nations is better trade deals. But correct me if I'm wrong. At least in Classic, it didn't block wagons. But it might now. Well, either way, I'll move it. So that it's definitely not an issue. Cages. And dog cage. If I put it behind, it won't be an issue. All right, some of these rooms are getting smooth. Nice. As you can see, these dwarves have a lot of work. In fact, I'll even smooth the hallway. Not that it's a valuable thing. Well, I mean, I guess it raises value to our entire fortress. But, like, no one's going to care about that value because it's not value added to a specific room. All right, and then we'll start using the additional furniture that I'm making so that it prompts them to make even more of it. So I'm going to use closest material for the doors because we only have shale doors. And then I'll do the same for the cabinets. And I think for this bottom row, I'm going to not bother with the double beds because it's not something that I care about. Oh, a depressed child. At some point, once our stockpile fills up with the glass that we queued up, because I only have making a certain finite amount of glass, I'll remove all of the glass industry. I don't think that you guys are ever going to want me to return to that project. I could be wrong, but something tells me that just the one skylight I have so far is probably going to satisfy everyone's needs for glassworks. So with that said, you know, if I need to ramp it back up, I can just add some new facilities and it will work just fine. Have we cut down those pine trees? I think so. 10 left. Okay. Yep, definitely have cut down those pine trees. 9. 8. 7. 6. 5. 4. Oh, I see. 3 and 2. We'll stay within their margin as irresponsibly as we can. What is going on here? Why are you puking like crazy? What happened to you? Why are you all torn open? That's a depression. Why are you fighting? Is Double Dwarf going crazy? I think so. I have always a very hard time figuring out, like, yeah, disorderly conduct. Okay. Accused is Double Dwarf. So let's interrogate Double Dwarf, because I think Double Dwarf just went very drunk or very violent and beat a whole lot of people up and then vomited everywhere. Like you do. So of the people that are, like, most upset, is he one of them? No, oddly, he is not. He is upset, but not in the deep red. So yeah, it's quite possible that he just had a little bit of breakdown. Hey, don't leave your coke lying around. All right. See how those bedrooms are coming. They're coming. I don't know how many beds we've made, though. Oh. Well, that was not an accurate number. Let's try this again. 12. Oh, that's respectable. Alright, how many trees do I've got left? Still 10, so I guess our woodcutters haven't cut those down. Alright, let's track this disorderly conduct. Yep. So convict, Double Dwarf, he confessed. And stick him in the clink for a bit. I think, actually, they wanted a larger dungeon. So I can also add some additional chains in there. Maybe I should pick the material so it's not something ridiculous. Copper chains. Very dungeon-esque. If I am going to have population boons, where like all of a sudden a whole lot of people immigrate, I probably want a slightly larger dorm as well before I can accommodate those that show up. Well, this is weird. Yes. Everybody does not like Double Dwarf. Got it. Well, I'll just keep solving those other crimes that he committed. Also, why are we leaving around... Oh, okay. Yeah, I understand the buckets now. Yeah, just a little disorderly conduct here. Nothing out of the ordinary. We could do like a mist generator or water project. Large projects like that would be voted on. That's how all the projects work. So we don't have a light aquifer. So if we did something like that, we would also need to probably find a better body of water, because the water caverns that we have on this map tile so far are not... I'll just scroll down there. They're not high volume. It's not a lot of water in there. So... it would run dry rather quickly if we tried to turn it into mist. So we would need to screwjack pump an aquifer from the brook or something else. So it becomes a larger project than what's probably intended. There's also something to be said, at least in my experience, that like some people just want to be miserable in this game. They have personal demands, like they want to be with family or something like that, but then they literally have no family. And trying to make everybody happy is kind of pointless as a result. Some people are just better off being kind of ignored and let to be miserable because they will always be. And putting, I have a finite amount of attention. So paying attention to the loudest 1% is not necessarily... utilitarian in my experience. Because are they ever going to be happy? And I'm talking strictly about the game. If you want to expand this out to something larger than the game, that's fine. But I'm talking about Dwarf Fortress here. It's the same as like me being a RimWorld player when I have someone who's, a pyromaniac or chemically fascinated. And it's like, no, I'm not going to make special allowances just for this one individual to have a special stash of drugs that they do constantly to keep them happy. They just can be unhappy. Fine by me. Again, no special allowances going out of my way for a specific individual. Because they're asking for too much. It's more work than it's worth. All right, the bedrooms are coming together. There's a lot more smoothing to be done. Let's see if there's people that would be good at that task. So stonecutters, absolutely no one that shows any sort of talent for stone cutting. Got it. Alright, so let's start convicting. Unsurprisingly, he's also caused these other problems. So... what's with the name, though? Let me find Double Dwarf. His full name is Datan Cheerwolf. Okay, or Cheerwheel. I just wanted to make sure I had the right person. Convict. Convict. Man, you are really... you're going down for this, aren't you? I wonder how long he's going to be imprisoned. Cheers. Okay. So these bedrooms look ready. We'll just get the last bed placed, and then I'll multi it. So I think we're at 64. Oh, I'll need to expand the burrow too, aren't I? I accidentally misclicked there, but yes. The burrow will need to accommodate the additions. So let's see. 64, yep, is the last one. Perfect. How is this one? Oh, I didn't hit multi. Well, that would be why. Here we go. Let's try this again. Done. Got 65. So what's going to end up happening is, if we have a bunch of new immigrants, their desires for things like guild halls and temples are going to go up a lot. And that's going to spin out to additional projects. One of the reasons why I've kept the populations rather low up until now is if you uncap the pop really early on, you end up with all sorts of like guild hall and temple demands that are going to be really challenging to meet when you're trying to also scale up your military at the same time. So it's one of the reasons why I'm pretty careful about like how quick I grow, because I'm not a veteran player that can deal with the sudden ramped up needs and desires. One of the bedrooms got a fancy... Oh, yeah, it did. Yoink. The artifact door. It's mine now. I should probably put it somewhere. You know what I could do? One of the reasons why I wanted to avoid doing this specifically is, like, having a bottleneck here is not great for productivity, right? Like, dwarves passing by one another, but it would also be really cool to be able to just slam a door shut, and then everybody in the burrow is like impervious to enemies that are outside. So I'll stick the door there. Again, it's not a great idea because of the way pathing works in Dwarf Fortress. You'd probably want at least 2 doors for people to like pass by one another effectively. But it shouldn't be too bad. And if it is really annoying, I can always get rid of it. So, why, this disorderly conduct? Did he just get a slap on the wrist? Like, 57 days in prison. No, never mind. I think he's the only convict who hasn't served time yet. But right now he's in the hospital because he... picked a fight with everybody. Got it. Okay, well, maybe our doctor should be restricted to do any other work other than hospital work so that he can actually serve his time. Moral of the story, don't punch everybody. All right, so taking a look at the glass blocks, we wanted 50. How many glass blocks do we have right now? That's not an accurate count, like, at all. Because these are... I'm assuming we have 50. I guess I could go to the bill and check it that way. Less than 50, so we have more than 50. Alright, so I'm going to kill the glass block queue, the sand queue, and then I'm going to lower the pearl ash and potash down to something more reasonable. No, it's only 10. Where's my potash? 10. Okay, yeah, that's fine. We're really not going to need a lot of pearl ash, but it doesn't... That will never get triggered. And then that's potash. Where's the regular charcoal. Okay, yeah, I think we're good. All right, then that means that all of these furnaces go bye-bye, because they were all temporary. Set up as a way to meet the needs of that giant skylight. So our statue, let me kill this one too. Our statue meeting hall area is coming back, finally. So 1, 2 wood furnaces, 4 wood furnaces? Seems a little overkill to me. I'll leave it though. And then 3 kilns, 1 glass furnace. That's probably fine. And we're back down to 1 ashery, 3 smelters. So now that we don't have like a bajillion make glass queues, I can start to do the lignite and coke smelting again. This was going to be a bridge, and it probably still will be at some point. But given that we have an artifact door, it doesn't hurt to use the artifact door in this way. Petition. They want the Aquamarine Hall. It is for the Metalsmith Guild. Sure. So let's go down to our guild hall floor. That would be up. No, down? Down. Metalsmiths will have this area to themselves. And I will smooth this as a higher priority so it gets done sooner to satisfy them. So this is exactly what I mean. As your population goes up, the demands for guild halls ever increase until all potential major guilds get accommodated. Is Double Dwarf fighting again? For real? Hang on. No, it doesn't look like it. Do I also need a glass floor between the bar and the diner? That'd be a future goal. And I definitely don't need it. Given the frequency at which people get cave adapted, having the dining room with a glass ceiling basically almost 100% mitigates all potential cave adapted dwarves. There's just about no risk now. Come on, someone link it. Unlike last time, I'll remember to pull it open. Someday, someday, someday. Oh, alert. Human caravan. Here we go. Pull lever. Like how they're all like, oh, door's closed. Yep, there it goes. Alright, so the caravan should have no issue coming in. The only worry is, like, it's hypothetically possible that the forest that we live in overgrows so much that the wagons can't find a path even to the bridge. But yeah, they're having no problems going in. I'm sort of curious if the cage was blocking them. I vaguely remember, like, caravans passing through anyway, but I obviously was not paying enough attention to say that for sure. So I'm gonna want to buy their leather and cloth. Let me get my finished good bids moved. And then hopefully some immigrants. So what I'm hoping to do with the immigrants is to start to train up much larger military squads so that I can go mess with the goblins. At the very least. I might not stop at goblins, but at least we'll start with goblins. And then see where we go there. And then also that allows us, with a larger military, to go deeper into the caverns and do some cavern exploration into the bottom of the map. Am I going to build a 3-wide road to the edge of the map at some point? maybe. I don't think it's necessary. I would only really ever do it if the caravans literally were not able to traverse to us, which has not been the case thus yet. Oh, man. What is going on with my alerts? Stop. I had... Yeah, okay, it's just going to keep going, isn't it? Yeah. I have to reboot my alerts. They're broken. I have, like... I hear my own alerts that you guys don't hear, and they're pinging my brain right now. They're looping and broken. Gotta say, the third-party tools for streamers are, like, amazingly unreliable. Okay, nope, my alerts just chose to explode to the point where I'm not going to have them anymore. So, if you redeem stuff, I might not notice. But it's unfixable at the moment. Oh, yeah. Alright, checking back into the bedrooms. Oh, the guild hall. Wow, that was fast smoothing. So let's engrave at priority 3. And then I think we still have one more silver statue that we can throw in there once it's engraved. And then right where the silver statue will go, I'll engrave it at priority 1 so that we can stick the statue in early. We'll call in our Baroness into the trade. Wow. Oh. She beat them there. They haven't unpacked yet. So we only have a few people that aren't happy. I'm doing an okay-ish job making sure they stay sane. So we'll keep an eye on that number and see what other social services that we can add if it stays an issue. Why is there like a contingency of human fighters wandering in? That has me worried. Are you part of the... What are you? You part of the trade caravan and you're just wandering around? I think that is the case. Yeah. Okay. Then I probably don't have to worry. Found it weird that there was like an army in my moat. Alright, Baroness. No demands at the moment. Cool. You're, Jimmy, thank you for the resub, and you're looking forward to the fun? Well, I'm ramping up the everything. I'm ramping up the difficulty, well, not difficulty, but the population so that fun can ensue. We don't have any silver statues. I think I gave the silver statue to the Baroness. So I'm going to yoink it. At some point, I just need to make this office, bedroom, tomb, and dining room nicer for her. But as long as she's not upset, it's not that urgent. Where is Happy Little Tree? Well, I know she's at trade. Oh, no, she walked away. Is this you? She's been away from family and friends. But for the most part, I think I've been keeping her happy. The Duchess. Yeah, she's happy. Oh, nah. She just mandated the construction of shields. Which is fine. If I'm ramping up my my military, I'm gonna need more shields. So, in this case, it's fine. I hope she stops asking for ballista parts, though. That's kind of driving me ballistic. So I really only want leather out of these guys and cloth. Don't truly care about the rest of it. Because we don't need food or their weapons, because I'll make my own. We don't need drink either. Food and drink's pretty good. Put mini shrines down everywhere. I do have the concept of micro shrines, and we already have 6 or 7. We'll see if there's large enough religious groups that require additional prayer areas once the population grows. Oh, interesting. This is just a box of old shoes that somehow have a value for these stupid human traders. Okay, well, buy my old shoes. That's one of the things it's preferable to do with masterwork quality items is to, instead of throwing them in a pit and letting them decay, pissing off the person that crafted them, to sell them so that it never becomes a mood problem. Wow, I need to absolutely send more finished goods. So I'll just buy what I can afford now, which is basically nothing. I thought I set more bins, but clearly I did not. It's also possible that we just don't have a lot of trade goods because I haven't been focusing on it. I'm just looking at the value of these bins. Oh, here's one with like 6 grand's worth of stuff. Something else I could do, wouldn't be a terrible idea, is to, I have a ton of copper, and I don't need the copper that I have. I could choose some craft works to make out of the copper so that we could sell it, because copper's not a great material for weapons or anything like that, right? It's a softer metal. So instead of using it for weapons, I could just make other objects out of copper or something like that, right? I could do copper jugs or copper goblets. Copper goblets actually wouldn't be a terrible idea, and putting our having our tavern have copper goblets instead of shale mugs. Maybe I'll do that first. So I'll have to remember to turn off that, like, make copper goblets infinitely at some point. If I have the companion metal, I can make brass or bronze. I don't have the companion metal, not in the volume that I have copper. I'll show you my bars. So here's the bars that I've got. So I have 389 copper bars, and most of those aren't even, they're not used in anything. And then I have like 1 tin, right? Some ash and pearl. I mean, these are bars of soap. So yeah, I don't really have a way to make that copper into anything other than just something out of copper. The issue with copper bins and barrels is the weight of the bin and barrel is factored into the carrying of the bins and barrels. So ideally you want your bins, barrels, anything that contains other things to be as light as possible, because if you make it heavy, it's worse to carry. So wood is a particularly light material, whereas metal generally isn't. Same way, if you're making things out of stone and it's a carrying object, you're gonna want it made out of a lighter stone like jet, not a heavier stone like cinnabar. Blah 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 blah. All right, cool. Thank you for updating me about the world that never changes, according to you. Checking in on the bedrooms. Barely any progress. Oh, they've been smoothing down here. What? This is a 3. This is a 4. What about the guild hall? Oh, that might be it. Alright, I think what I'll do is I'll do it in reverse. I will pick out the stuff I have money for, and then pick the trade goods, because I think I have a limited amount of trade goods at this point. Oh, that probably should be displayed somewhere. Was that the one that was getting stolen that I stopped? Maybe not. But that the wealth of this bin was almost entirely just that one artifact, so it was kind of misleading. Meaning I don't have the money to really buy very much. Rude, but that's fine. Kiln. Let's make clay crafts again. We've been selling off a ton of porcelain stuff. Polar Bear in Knoxville, thank you for the resubs and welcome. So what was my naming convention for the guild halls? Farmers Guild Hall, Guild of Larks. Okay, so I tried to keep it as close to the name of their guild as possible. Got it. Has a nice symmetry to it. Yeah, and I also tried to not terraform so that the mini-map looks pretty clean as well, which is nice. Hey, T-Man, how was playing Mountain Blade today? I was actually lurking a bit. So, I don't even need to do the shout-out to know what you were up to. Welcome. Welcome to the fortress. Cheers. Right now, I'm just working to expand the fortress to accommodate more sleepers. Hey, Jay Cataclysm, thank you for the bits. How's the dwarves? The dwarves are pretty good. And then these little dwarves, pretty good too. Yeah, everything is going relatively smoothly, which is surprising, considering it's Dwarf Fortress that usually goes awry. Do they have a chance of stealing anything if I open the AI guilds to the public? Not if... I mean, not really. Because there's only a silver statue in there. I mean, they can have that if they want. It's not expensive. But I've already had a lot of stuff lifted off of me. But we have actually, except for this crime, like, we know what everyone did wrong. Like, we have all of the disorderly conducts and all that. I mean, we have an idea. Okay, so there's Double Dwarf properly in the prison now for the punching and thrashing and whatever else he did. Generally being rude. But I'll give you guys a little tour. So this is the top side. I have a 3 deep moat around a paddock for the animals. In fact, I haven't checked this in a while. I guess there's another boar I can put in. To get into the fortress, you have to cross this bridge, this drawbridge, go down a ramp, go around the moat, and come out, and then go in this main ramp that enters the fortress, where I have the trade area and another bridge, and then this goes to the mining caves. This is the tavern. Above, the library behind the tavern, as well as the paper making. And then above the tavern is the dining room, excuse all the stone, because it's everywhere. And then above the tavern is a skylight window, so that my dining room is fully illuminated by sunlight, so that we don't get cave-adapted dwarves. And then back to the main hallway, we've got the military barracks, in their fledgling state because I don't have a big military yet. And then a training room for melee, training room for ranged. We've got wells that go down to a water source, as you can see. And then some basic crafting, the sort of main hall and hall of switches, which allows us to lift and lower bridges and whatnot. This should be door lever. Hospital, where we make eggs, our dungeon. And above is the temple. Actually, I was working on 2 additional temples. I kind of forgot about that. So we should start working on that, I guess. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. But yeah, we have the main temple, which is the Temple of Halls, which just leads to other temples. And then these are individual temples dedicated to specific deities. Yeah. Continuing the tour, above that is a micro farm, because I don't really do a lot of farming. And then below all of the temples is general yuckity-yuck storage, and some specific storages, like for metal, weapons, and armor, and bins of bars, and that kind of stuff. And then the bedrooms. Oh, and also next to the temple is the tomb, for, you know, people who have ripped. Yep. That is the royal tour, I guess. So I forgot about these side temples. I was making 2 additional ones, so I will continue that project too. And it looks to me like I am going to need some additional shale blocks if this is to ever be finished. Hall of Switches looks like the Engineers Guild Hall. Yeah, if I had a vampire, I would stick him in a room, close it, and have him just flick switches, but nah. Oh, bye, caravans. So here's a pretty good illustration of how the caravans leave, where they come up the main ramp, they go into the moat, and then they go all around the moat, and then out the main entryway. And that gives me a lot of time to react. So if we do see enemies out here, I have like 3 layers of bridges that can be shut before the enemies can even threaten the dwarves. Oh, and then above the moat is actually a shooting gallery. So these are all fortifications that we can shoot out of. I ironically don't have any crossbow or marks dwarves at the moment. I had a army of marks dwarves. Really? You're running across my window? That's rude. And all of those marks dwarves decided to go try to punch a human thief trying to steal relics and got himself dead. I did just get some migrants, though. Our population just jumped up by 10. So I'm going to figure out who moved in kind of the slow way by room assignments. So we have got Locum, the animal trainer. So one of the things I try to do, and it's going to be really tricky as I expand population, is I try to figure out if any of the new people are vampires just by looking at their skills and relationships to see if there's any like red flags. You know, like an immigration officer. Papers, please. So Locum passes. What about Irith? Irith and Dusum. I don't know which Dusum. It's not that one. It's a different Dusum. Oh, common names. How about I find Irith? You? Don't look particularly skilled. What about your husband? Probably not. So you guys are clean? Another thing I want to do is I want to start a Hammer Dwarf contingent as well. So we have a diagnostician. That's really good because I didn't actually have a diagnostician before. So Ablel and Thekut. No combat skills. You're very clean. I'm going to have to... Ablel, I'll definitely have to put in the hospital. And then you are a peasant, so not likely you have... Oh, you're a competent mace dwarf. Good. We're going to have a mace dwarf squad. You don't scream vampire to me, though. Yeah, you don't scream vampire to me, though. Oh, come on. Why is there teeth everywhere in here? Who's been punching teeth out? And put it... Cartilage? Oh, no, an ear. You rip someone's ear off. Nice. Just dwarf things, you know? Going full Tyson on them. Alright, more immigration. Brad the immigration officer. Clearing dwarves. Ism. Alright, let's check on Ism. I think it was this one. No, I need a last name. There's too many Isms. Ism I Nodcod. I love these names. So it's you. Alright. No, you look pretty clean. Alright, I will need, yeah, there's a lot of tells. So one of them is, and I've said this before, but a lot of the tells for the vampires is they have unnaturally good combat skills for their age, unnaturally good social skills for their age, too many children for some of that age. So like, for instance, if a 44-year-old has like great grandkids, they're not 44, they're 444. They're just a vampire that doesn't age, right? Not needing alcohol to get through the day. The huge tells is like, does the dwarf flee the undead? So if you happen to have like zombies locked up in a room that a necromancer has summoned or revived or whatever, and a dwarves walk past the room and they can see into the room, like through glass walls or whatever, dwarves will run unless they're conscripted, drafted. Not vampires. So that's like that's a huge tell. Another one is if they do drink someone, they can compel adult dwarves to lie when interrogated, but they cannot compel children. So if you have a child say that someone is guilty of a vampiric crime, the child will never lie. And that's another huge tell. Another big way to tell is if I did suspect someone of vampirism, I could burrow them into a room, wall up the room, and then see if they get thirsty. Vampires will not get thirsty. They'll get tired and, but they won't get thirsty. So that's a guarantee, slam dunk. It's just, I don't want to have to like lock every single possible immigrant up and stick them into a room until they nearly dehydrate to death, because that's a really good way to have unbelievably upset immigrants. Surprisingly, they don't like to be sequestered and deprived of alcohol. It's weird, right? But that would be another way to check. Not that I'm doing that. The difficulty I'm playing on and my concern is low enough that I just don't care. If I end up getting a vampire, oh well. We'll deal. Thank you for tuning in to Dwarf Fortress Taming the Wilds, which originally streamed live on Twitch January 31st. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you'd like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhodamont.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my gaming community, Rhodamont.com also has a link to Discord, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. A special thank you to my Patreon patrons, Twitch subscribers, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. Hope to catch you in next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow dwarves.